All right, we are live and we have a brand new setup over here. We got this mic, sure. We got a new massive monitor. This monitor is Alienware, whatever, AMFI5, blah, blah, blah. We got a new camera. I think the camera feed is pretty nice. It looks very professional now. We got the new New York hat, which we showed last time. We got a new dock. Now, I'm just thinking, like, what? I think we'll have to update a couple more things as well. Like, for this mic, we need, like, one of those mic things that you can adjust over here. And, like, this just one stand doesn't work. You need, like, the entire, I don't know what they call it, but you need that now. What else? What else do we need? We also need, hmm, this is pretty cool, though. All right. What are we looking at? Let's look at Rick Rubin because we are now getting into more creative stuff. Let's get into Rick Rubin. We want to learn more about Rick Rubin, his quotes. We previously looked into his book, which was a collaboration with Anthropic AI. Vibe coding. I forgot what it's called. Code, something like that. Whoa. This hat is too tight. Okay. I just read a Rick Rubin quote, and it basically says, let's see, Instagram, it's worth trying many different methods. Whoa, what happened, Rick Rubin? Rick Rubin, yes. It's worth trying many different methods with this in mind. There's no way to know in advance whether any of them will work. So it's always good to keep experimenting. It's always good to keep things very rough, very authentic, and just keep trying. Yeah, we have so much stuff going on. I hope this table can handle all the stress right now because, yeah, there's some heavy stuff on this table right now. Alienware monitors are pretty good. I didn't know Alienware was a sub brand of Dell, like the gaming lineup for Dell. I don't know if this is a limiting belief, but let's ask Perplexity. Is this a limiting belief that I never wanted to buy a massive monitor and just keep using my little MacBook screen for all my work? Yeah, just a random question. Let's see. Yeah, but this hat is pretty nice, but we'll keep it like this. Short answer, maybe even not necessarily. Helpful way to test or define the belief I don't need a big monitor, my MacBook screen is fine. Check for utility versus avoidance. Utility science not limiting. You stay focused, feel comfortable, your output and posture are good, and you don't feel constrained. Avoidance. Alright, bye. Avoidance, science, limiting. You notice eye strain, constant window juggling, slower multitasking, or you have avoided trying a monitor because of cost, identity. I'm not that kind of person rather than fit. Interesting. Run a low friction experiment. Borrow or test a 27-inch external monitor for 3 to 7 days, even at co-working space or friends. Set a clear success metric, less context switching, fewer headaches, faster completion of multi-window tasks, or better creative flow. Keep your current workflow identical except for screen real estate to isolate the variable. If improvement jumps 20 to 30% on your metrics, time to complete tasks, errors, fatigue, the old belief was likely limiting. If not, it's probably a valid preference. Cost-effective try before you buy options. Use any TV as a temporary external display via HDMI USB-C to test screen real estate. Try different setups. Ergonomics note. If you stick to the laptop, only raise it to eye level and add an external keyboard mouse to avoid neck shoulder strain. I think this is really important. Like this neck shoulder strain, these are some very important things that you need to take care of, because if you're working for a long term, when you're working for, what does this mean? Temporary thread. Why did I open a temporary thread? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, anyways, if you're working for a long time, it is really important to just invest this in this entire setup. You want to feel good. You want to feel good. I think that is the most important thing. Even with this entire massive monitor, I think there's a lot of real estate that I'm not really using. I don't want to use go all the way over here, but it is still amazing. It's still amazing to have a massive monitor. It's kind of crazy when you are sitting over there, when you are sitting in Best Buy, you are like, I just want the biggest, I just want the biggest, I just want the biggest. And when I put it over here, I'm like, maybe this is too big, maybe this is too big, yeah. But anyways, I think this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. We'll get used to it. We got the new chair, we got the new monitor, we got the new face cam. Face cam is also good. What else? What else? Yes, I'm now thinking about getting a new table over here so that we can start adjusting the table. And we're gonna clean up a lot of stuff. We're gonna clean up a lot of stuff. I think live streaming, the entire let's say grind with French that has really got me to just like keep pushing and keep going for upgrades. And it's nice. It's nice. We'll keep getting upgrades. One thing that just makes me think about is that, oh, if I get used to this, what will happen when I travel? We'll think about it. We'll think about it. But right now, this is good. Okay. All right. What do we have? Yeah, this mic, we need to do something with this mic. Play the exact time code Neil Armstrong says one small step on YouTube. When I'm meeting, who am I meeting this week? What is my schedule for Monday? Summarize the last article I read. Summarize the last article I read. Let's see. What was the last article we read? Okay, we were reading about GPT-5, seamless communication, Ferrari SF25, mindfulness city. Interesting. Check sources. What is this? Okay. So it's checking for sources. Interesting. By the way, what is the battery level of our mouse? Our mouse is 100%. This is at... Okay, got it. I just wish the Elgato Facecam Pro connected straight to my dock, but it has to be connected to my laptop for some reason. That is interesting. So now all my ports of my laptop are gone. I cannot use any other port, which is very interesting. All right. Tell me about Dell Alienware brand. Also reminds me there was... What is the brand for locking devices in Best Buy? Dell Alienware brand. Interesting. Can I change this while recording? Did it change? I don't know. Well, this is actually pretty cool. I'm guessing the pan is happening on a physical level. That would be interesting to see. But I think, yeah, so what has changed now? What has changed? There used to be light that would be straight hitting my face, but actually we can still get a lot of angle. There's a lot of angle over here where this light can still hit my face and we can have the natural lighting going on. Definitely with the screen, a lot of the actual sunlight that I used to get is being blocked. So that is interesting. We'll also just test with different, we'll keep testing. We'll keep testing the positioning. I have a lot of stuff right now on my desk. There are definitely a lot of wires. Wiring is something that, yeah, you definitely need to take care of wiring. Yeah, we don't want too many wires. We don't want wires to make our space less aesthetic. Anyways, Alienware premium gaming focused computer hardware brand that is subsidiary of Dell, known for its high performance laptops, desktops, and distinctive alien inspired designs. Alien inspired designs. Okay. Images. known for its high-performance laptop, desktop, and distinctive alien-inspired designs. 96 by Nelson Gonzalez and Alex Aguila in Miami. Alienware originally started as Psyche of Miami Inc. and rebranded to Alienware 97, drawing inspiration from science fiction themes and shows such as The X-Files. The company quickly... Let's see. Can I go a little bit back? Alright, I think we went a little bit back. Yes. And now maybe bring me up. Up, 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 up. Alright, maybe better. You can see my couple t-shirts, a couple of t-shirts over here. You can see my other stuff on the table, and you can see my hat. Yes, okay. Wait, did we apply a mirroring effect? Mirror. Hello. Hello. Did we mirror? I think we mirror, right? Oh no. Yeah, I don't think we mirror. But anyways. Yeah, we didn't mirror. The company quickly established a reputation for specialized gaming PCs and innovative chassis design, including models like A51 and Aurora. Dell acquired Alienware in 2006, integrating it as a premier gaming brand. Since the acquisition, Alienware has operated with significant independence in design and marketing, but has benefited from Dell's supply chain, purchasing power, and broader distribution network. It's very interesting. I think Dell is known for like more simple branding, more simple branding, but Alienware actually has figured this out. Okay, one thing we will do is we will move all this stuff over here because I'm missing out on the beautiful angle that I have over here. So that is something that needs to change. Okay, anyways. Purchasing power and broader distribution network, enabling improved global and quality and global reach. The release of the M17X in 2009 marked Alienware's expansion into over 35 countries. Key aspects include high-end hardware. Alienware systems tend to use the latest CPUs and GPUs, advanced cooling solutions, premium build materials like anodized aluminum and magnesium alloy. Brand signature aesthetic centers around angular futuristic chassis design and customizable RGB lighting, customization, and modularity. Many Alienware products can be tailored to user specifications, and some desktop and laptops allow for future upgrades. Innovative cooling integrates features such as cryotech cooling, vapor chambers, liquid cooling, and advanced airflow management with sustained high performance. Price and marketing positioning. Yeah, I just realized like one issue that we need to now figure out is the audio. Like when I'm playing a video, the sound is coming from my laptop, which is crazy. I don't know where the speaker is at, but wherever the speaker is at, I don't know if that's perfect. I don't know if that's the ideal situation, but anyways. Advanced airflow management for sustained high performance. Price and market positioning. Alienware is positioned as a premium product, typically priced above $1,500, targeting demanding gamers and those who value design and build quality. Dell offers more affordable alternatives, though its G series line. While recognized among gaming enthusiasts for its performance, although some users critique aspects such as quality control or value for money, opinions in the user communities vary. While some praise the design and reliability, others point to issues such as inconsistent thermal management, relatively high pricing compared to competitors. Expanded its lineup over the years, including gaming consoles. Alpha Series continues to refresh its PC offerings with the latest available technology. Ethical evaluations from third-party note Alienware's strong performance in areas like animal welfare, but its parent company Dell has been marked down for human rights and sustainability concerns. Flagship gaming brand offering visually distinctive high-performance computers for enthusiasts with a focus on innovative premium build and market segmentation within the gaming PC sector. Very interesting. Yeah, I think all their monitors are pretty cool. I'm also seeing NVIDIA over here. NVIDIA G-Sync. Many Alienware monitors are designed to be NVIDIA G-Sync compatible or certified, meaning they support NVIDIA adaptive sync technology for smoother, more responsive gaming when paired with an NVIDIA graphics card. Okay, okay. G-Sync works by synchronizing the monitor's refresh rate to the GPU's output, eliminating screen tearing and reducing stuttering and input lag. Alienware offers monitors with a range of adaptive sync capabilities, native G-Sync monitors. These are, by the way, you can also see right over here all the stuff. Yeah, I think I always value simplicity, like no matter simplicity in terms of not making things complicated just because to look it fancy, like having things because they are necessary and they're gonna lead to a step function change. So I think this monitor has definitely led to a step function change because when I think I need a monitor. I need a monitor. And I think it would be interesting, like no matter where you go, you always use a monitor. All you need is just to plug it in. Like whether you're at a co-working space, wherever, just have a bigger monitor so you can a bigger monitor ideally. Yeah, I don't know if you can get a mic and a camera everywhere, but ideally have a bigger monitor and then maybe use your AirPods or whatever. I think AirPods also needs to get to a point where AirPods are just a really good mic. That needs to happen, and every monitor needs a camera. Just have the basic camera, like even MacBook's basic camera is amazing. But I also understand like there will be a problem with having a camera up over here because the camera is too high. Like if your monitor is massive, the camera is too high, then and you cannot then adjust like I can do over here. So very interesting problems. Very interesting problems. Very interesting problems. But yeah, in general, reduce the complexity, reduce the number of tools and equipments you need. Like right now, all we should need is a laptop and a monitor. That's it. That's it. Small screen, big screen. When you come home, you put on the big screen. When you're traveling, you have the small screen. I would also like to, like, yeah, this would be very interesting. Like now that we have done like 200 plus videos, 200 plus live streams, so it would be very interesting just to compare and keep seeing like, okay, what were the little areas? I think early on, it's interesting. Something I've been thinking about, like getting this new monitor is a massive jump. This is a massive jump. These little design changes are still okay. These are fine, but these monitors, like these equipment changes are a massive jump because that is a new mindset, by the way. I don't know if I showed this, but this is what we got. Pedicure, manicure in Brooklyn. Anyways, these are massive jumps. It would be very interesting to see like, okay, what were my streams before this and after this? What were some other significant jumps? I think, yeah, getting this beard off. I think right now I'm just going through a phase where I'm just like going through a phase of upgrades. I'm going through a phase of upgrades where we are just making upgrades. Yeah, just traveling to places which just come to my mind that, okay, I feel like I have to go to San Diego. I go there and I have a great time. I meet some interesting people and then we become friends. And then you have newer experiences that you wouldn't have had over here, which is interesting. They kind of change you. They do change you. And then with French, really pushing yourself with French, and then going to Montreal and giving this exam, and again meeting interesting people over there, and then having this idea, and during all the time keep going this live streaming thing. I think live streaming, that is the most interesting thing, that you can just keep going. This entire thing is around content. We want to make sure that no matter where we go, content is always taken care of. I think this is also the reason I like the concept of slow traveling. Slow traveling basically means that you are not putting yourself into a deadline zone where it's like, you just have like 2 days in this new city that you have never been to. Because if you have 2 days, now you'd be wasting your time if you are in your room, right? So you need to be out. So you get out, you are out there all the time. And now because everything is so novel, everything is so new, you are having such a good time, you are going to keep going and you're going to keep pushing yourself, and that's going to exhaust you. So during those 2 days, you won't get any work done. You won't focus on your health. No health, no wealth. You will just focus on traveling. You'll be really exhausted. So when you're back home again, you need like 1 or 2 days for recovery. and you kind of miss out on work as well. I think the most interesting thing about work is when you slow travel and when you're exposed to these novel experiences, when you bring that back into your work. I think that is beautiful. That is that these are the states that you want to capture. When you saw something new, when you had a beautiful experience, it triggered some things in your mind. It kind of opened your brain to new interesting things, and now you want to bring those ideas into your work. You want to bring that energy, that state of mind into your work, and that is really important. That is something I think about. That is something I think about, and that is also how you expand your worldview. I think the most interesting thing, maybe we talked about this last time, is also the fact that now that I like to talk to random people, just random people. Earlier, I think our entire network just became all about tech. So we are just hanging out with tech people and meeting tech people. I think that kind of makes you think, that kind of made you think like, oh, world is not interconnected. Like you forget that world is interconnected, everything is interconnected. You start thinking world in silos, that oh, these are all the people who think about crypto and everybody else do not care about it. You forget that world is interconnected. These are people who are interested, they are making money, and other people are also affected by it, they are just not aware of it. So, and I think through my work at this startup, I think my entire focus was about marketing, about growth, about how do we bring this product out to the masses. And to bring a product out to the masses, a really complicated product out to the masses, you need to understand communication. You need to understand that what are the messages that are actually hitting people. How are people how do people are not going to understand, like this is a very technical, let's say, crypto protocol. People don't give a shit about it, people don't understand it. So how are you going to understand people, what do they care about, and then translate your product in their language, translate your ideas such that they resonate with them. And I think that is the most interesting thing, and this is the reason why I think you need to talk to random people. You need to talk to people who are definitely outside your discipline, outside your areas of interest, and maybe make those new areas of expose yourself to these new areas of interest, or expose yourself just to these new areas or interdisciplinary interest, whatever. And now you have a lot of things to connect with, and that is very interesting. As we talk to more and more people, I just understand, I just kind of get to know that, wait, I can pretty much, because with this live streams have been really valuable, because we have been just exploring a lot of ideas and exploring a lot of art. Also really helps, because art is what resonates. And this just reminds me that you can just talk about anything with anyone, and that is very interesting. That is very interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Let's go back to Alienware. What was this native G-Sync thing? Designed to be compatible, works by synchronizing the monitor's refresh rate to the GPU's output, eliminating screen tearing and reducing suffering and input lag. Alienware offers monitors with a range of adaptive sync capabilities. Native G-Sync monitors, their dedicated hardware module for full compatibility and exclusive features such as wide variable refresh rate, range, and ultra low latency. Examples include premium models like Alienware. They don't have the hardware module. Yeah, this art conversation also we had yesterday, right? Art is very interesting. Like we were looking at the ChatGPT generated wedding oath or toast. Sorry, wedding toast, and that was very interesting. Like it was so good when your work is good, when you stop looking at, when you forget that it's work. Great work stops looking as work, because it resonates so deeply with your emotions. It resonates so deeply. It is just so beautiful, so perfect, that it stops looking like work. And that is something we need to learn. That is something we need to be aware of, that you need to be practicing so much. You need to be practicing your art so much every day, whatever, that it stops looking like work to other people. It just resonates so deeply. It just resonates so much that you forget that it's work. You forget that, oh, somebody thought of like making a cut over here and blah 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 over here. because it was just flowing. It was just flowing. Like I remember, like when I was reading that entire thing, I'm like, this is just so good that I keep flowing, and I have to like pull myself out and think like, oh shit, ChatGPT created it, and how ChatGPT thought of it was in terms of tokens and blah 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 and LLMs and like math and vectors. You forget that this is art. You forget that this is a story that you highly resonated with. Tell me the founding story of Alienware. Okay. We got a photo of a mansion. Why do we have this mansion? Alienware co-founder sells Coral Gables mansion with solar panels, 200 bottle wine cooler for $10 million. Interesting. This is... Whoa, where's the date? Where's the date? 2021. Okay. That's it? What? He sold Alienware to Dell in 2006. Bro. You don't have the article? Wow. Is this Miami? Coral Gables mansion with solar panels, 200 bottle wine cooler for $10 million. This is beautiful. I don't know, like if you're actually living in this house, how does your furniture look like that? How is your furniture not messed up, totally messed up? Yeah. $200 bottle wine cooler. 200 bottle wine cooler. How do we... No. What is this? South Florida Business Journal. Hey man, I gotta work on your website. What is happening over here? Why do we have this massive band that does nothing? Alright. I don't think nobody takes shower in that thing. Nobody takes a bath in that thing. What is that? Okay, this is nice. How quickly do you get bored of a house? Humans always need novelty, and it's crazy how quickly we get used to things. Okay, nice. Alienware. Wow. Nice office. Doors open for drive and connection access. Trippy wind hieroglyphics pattern. Day glow color light effects. Side, front. Whoa. Inspiration is a nuclear reactor. Don't mess. There's definitely some interesting stuff happening in the background that I can't even see. I think people in Lululemon, they are able to see this better. But I would love to see it sometimes. Actually, let me quickly check. What is something... Are the lightings in the background right now? Yeah. There's the Alienware logo, which is shining blue right now, which is pretty cool. Okay. We're sorry this image is no longer available. Got it. Let's see. Very interesting company. Very interesting product. Very interesting inspiration. 496 by Nelson Gonzalez and Alex Aguila, two childhood friends from Miami who share a deep passion for keeping computer hardware. Gonzalez and Aguila spent their youth playing and modifying computers to meet the demanding requirements of modern video games. Gonzalez struggled to upgrade his PC to play a flight simulation game. Most notably, Falcon 3.0 convinced him that there must be other gamers in need of customized high-performance machines. This realization led the pair to launch their own company out of Gonzalez's garage in Hialeah, Miami, using 13,000 sourced from personal savings and credit cards. They named the company Alienware in 97, drawing inspiration from their interest in UFOs, science fiction, and the TV series The X-Files. The branding choice extended to product names like Area 51 and Aurora, establishing the company's now iconic alien motif. Alienware's original business model was unconventional. Instead of selling mass-market commodity PCs, they built bespoke systems aimed at gamers who demanded the latest, highest-performing components. Alienware adopted a direct sales method. Customers ordered systems through the company's website and paid upfront before receiving the specialized computers. In the early days, the founders faced skepticism and struggled to secure bank loans. But their focus on the niche gaming market allowed gradual and organic growth. It was actually very interesting yesterday when I'm at Best Buy. I don't know why this reminds me of that, but at Best Buy, I think what I should have done is I should have opened ChatGPT video mode. I should have walked around and I should have been like, hey, look at all the monitors over here. I'll show you all the monitors. Here is my requirement. Tell me which is the best one, and here's my budget. I think that would be so good. That would be so good. So what I was doing is I'm looking at monitors that I like. I'm clicking their requirements. They have a requirements sheet, whatever. I'm clicking the photo and then I'm asking like, okay, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? And ChatGPT was interesting because it was like saying that, hey, if you're doing live streaming, we are at this point where you can actually get OLED screens and they are getting really cheap. So you can actually, like, if you might be paying like $300, $400 for a very basic monitor, but you can just like go a little bit up and you can get an OLED. And I was like, okay. And then when you look at the difference, you can see that, okay, when I look at an OLED, I like it because OLED is, the colors are beautiful. So I'm like, I like it. And it's super cheap. It's like, it's nothing. I mean, if I'm traveling right now, if I'm investing in work right now, I think I need to invest in a monitor. And this is nothing as compared to that. So, and yeah, like I think getting a new monitor, it's also very interesting, right? I think there's a very interesting concept. This reminds me of two things. Number one is with the marker. So, or with the marker, what do we call them? What do we call them? Sharpies? No, not Sharpies. But let's say with the markers, right? Whiteboarding. When you're whiteboarding, you are using your markers which have a bigger tip. And there's a psychological difference over here between using a pen on a journal versus using a fat marker on a whiteboard. When you are using a fat marker on a whiteboard, because your tip is bigger, you are writing bigger things, and obviously you are like physically you're writing bigger things, and your size is bigger, and you're gonna be writing bigger. You're gonna think of bigger ideas. You're gonna be thinking of bigger ideas because you are. And when you have a journal and you have a pen and the nib is really tiny, really narrow, and you are writing a lot, that means you're gonna think about very specific ideas. So that is a psychological difference between using a marker on a whiteboard versus using a pen in a journal or on a piece of paper. There's a psychological difference between thinking bigger ideas and thinking smaller specific ideas. And similarly, that happens in let's say meetings, or let's say events, or let's say meetings, right? So if you are having a meeting with someone one-on-one, face-to-face, and if your room's ceiling is lower, you're gonna think smaller ideas. But if your room's ceiling is really high, you're going to think about bigger ideas. You're going to talk about bigger ideas. And I think this is a strategy that I used to use for my events, where I used to only do rooftop events. Number one, I just love rooftops. And if you can afford it, why not? But also, rooftop events means there is no limit. Sky is the limit. Like, there's no limit over there. So you can talk about any idea you want. You can, like, we wanted your ideas to be massive. Like, we want breeze to be flowing into your face, and we want you watch beautiful sunsets, and that is amazing. And I think I still love that. Like, only rooftops are amazing for talking, because now we're in the game of ideas. We're only in the game of ideas. We're only talking to people about ideas. So why do you want any limit on your ideas? You want to be really unlimited. You want your ideas to have no limit. And that applies over here as well. If I have a smaller screen, I'm thinking of smaller ideas. If I have a bigger screen, I might be thinking of bigger ideas. But this is just a psychological difference, another psychological difference that we can exploit over here. Really cool. All right. Quickly became known in the gaming world for innovation quality. By submitting their computers to technology magazines for review, they garnered industry acclaim such as PC Gamer magazine's edited choice award for their AF51 system in '98, which will legitimize the brand and trigger rapid growth. By early 2000s, they were assembling hundreds of custom units per month and was recognized as a leader in high-performance gaming PCs. The company maintained close ties with top hardware manufacturers, often gaining early access to cutting-edge components and releasing systems with science fiction-inspired designs and colors. Remained independent until its acquisition by Dell in 2006, allowed Alienware to retain its brand identity and design autonomy while benefiting from Dell's supply chain and resources. Rooted in the founder's love of gaming, technical innovation, and a willingness to defy industry norms to serve a specialized market, ultimately developing into one of the world's most recognizable gaming PC brands. This is very interesting. Again, definitely a great strategy by Dell, because Dell knows that it is boring. If you look at a Dell monitor versus an Alienware monitor, you definitely want to know, that, okay, I want Alienware. What else? I mean, look at this. Like, it is very iconic. It is very iconic. I think the entire unboxing process is where you realize that how much it's similar to how when we say that art and commerce should fuse together. That is exactly what's happening over here. Design and functionality is fusing together. Like the monitor stand over here, you might think that this is just design, but there's also a lot of functionality over here. It is a really good support, a very simple, really good support, but the design is unique, which makes it stand out. And the way you pull it out of the box, I think that is also very cool. That is also really cool, because the stand is really solid, and you're not supposed to touch the screen. You're not supposed to pull the screen out, like pull the screen with your hands. You're not supposed to pull the screen with your hands. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to assemble the stand. Then you want to plug the stand in the back of the screen, and then you pull out the entire thing. So that is very interesting. And this is also the reason why the stand is like really thick, because especially while pulling it, it has to be really strong to pull that entire thing out. So that was pretty cool. What was the other one? These are pretty good. Hey, this is the reason why I love Perplexity. Perplexity gives really, like, this. Perplexity is made for research. If you're into research, if you are into learning about things, Perplexity is made for that. I hope they don't lose the lead. I hope they work on the design. Hey, fix the design, please. Thank you. What else? Grok is pretty cool, though. We are missing out on the Twitter stuff. But anyways, images. Grok hasn't figured out the images yet. Alienware timeline. Can we zoom on this? No. Brian Foster. Choco Taco. The Geek Entry. Founding and early success, expansion, innovation, global leadership and market expansion, strategic acquisition, technological advancements. Okay. China's third largest computer system provider. 40 million daily sales. Oh, you went too high. All right, a system. Let's go. 6 to 8, founding and early innovations. Alienware originally sci-fi founded to build gaming-focused PCs. Renames to Alienware, launches the Blade gaming desktop for reviewers and early enthusiasts. Launches 8051 Tower, first flagship featuring advanced graphics and dual sound cards. Shortly after the Aurora AMD powered desktop debuts. Customization expansion adds metallic color options to PC chassis. Nova yellow, plasma purple, saucer silver, and more. 2002-5, moving to mobile and iconic designs. AF51M becomes Alienware's first gaming laptop, setting the stage for future portable performances. Predator 1 desktop introduces Alienware's signature alien head logo and a new curvy sci-fi inspired case design. Packs dual core AMD CPUs and high-end NVIDIA graphics. I think we definitely need the mic stand like this that I can just move around. That would be really useful. acquired by Dell, enabling broader distribution and R&D while retaining its brand independence. Okay, let me just write that down because, yeah, holding this is hurting my neck. Okay. What do we call this? Shure mic. I forgot what it's called. It looks like a snake though. But anyways. Acquired by Dell. Wow. Enabling broader distribution R&D while retaining its brand independence. Aurora first SLI, giving laptop a major laptop milestone. Design overhaul and expansion. Launch of M17X software Dell acquisition first Alienware Dell brand laptop. Global reach expands to 35 countries. Aurora FP1 desktop chassis. Redesigned with futuristic styling and advanced cooling features. Alienware's smallest 11-inch gaming laptop lauded for portable power. M18X introduced supporting up to dual SLI crossfire GPUs for maximum mobile graphics. Diversifications. X51 mini gaming laptop launches Alienware's answer to console-sized gaming PCs. Complete laptop lineup refresh. New chassis and customizable lighting zones. Alpha Alienware 13 and graphics amplifier. Radical triangular redesign. From Miami to Area 51. Nice. Wait. Oh, what is this? This is so dumb. Tech radar. What? Slimmer, lighter. This is the reason why people don't look at stupid websites like that. Slimmer, lighter, OLED. Alienware 1517 slim down. Swap optical devices for lighter high-end build support for graphics amplifier. Alienware 13 becomes the first gaming laptop with an OLED display. OLED display, okay. No tech radar. 2325 modern flagships and innovation. Alienware M18 launches. Alienware M18 launches. Large display, latest Intel Ryzen chips and RTX 40 GPUs. AF5118 returns now with QHD plus screen Intel Ultra 9 CPU, RTX 50 GPU cutting edge specs. Custom gaming desktops with advanced graphics, mobile innovation, regularly pioneering laptops with unique form factors and high performance design, a strong influence of sci-fi and customization, setting apart visually. Frequent first OLED, external GPU, VR, console-sized desktops. Consistent investments in new features, brand recognition, global expansion, and iconic product launches cemented Alienware as an elite gaming brand by the thousands. Really cool. Yeah, I saw something like this. I've seen this too. Electric. TP-Link. Login device or smart door to anti-theft and high security locks. No, we are not looking for this. We are looking for, actually, what is this called? Just go here. Smart lock. No, this is showing me the wrong stuff. Oh. No. Okay, forgot about it. Anyways. What's the review on this entire setup? I think I really like the setup. I don't know why I'm starting to. It's like anytime you make a big change, it's good to make a big change, but I think what I start thinking about is I'm starting to think on, okay, then what happens when I'm traveling? when I'm traveling. Obviously, I don't have this setup, so I'm missing out on this setup. But it's okay. It's okay. It's good to have a home base. It's always good to have a home base where we keep coming back and we keep recording these streams. And then you can travel and you can record everything through your laptop. I think that is totally fine. That is totally fine. That is totally fine. Yeah. That shouldn't stop us from upgrading our systems, upgrading our work setups, and that also shouldn't stop us from traveling. Yeah. Let's see. Rick Rubin quotes. Now we'll end with some philosophy because hey, we know we love philosophy. Rick Rubin quotes. By the way, I'm talking about this with a lot of people, but we need to look at this guy. This is amazing. This is beautiful.
This is beautiful. Yeah, crazy. It's great.
Okay, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. I'm getting my input from here. I'm getting my input from my laptop, but the audio is not bad.
It looks like it's a painting or something in the distance. You know, it looks like a scene from a movie.
Yeah, it feels like it is a painting.
Maybe we do a focused meditate.
So on my stream, I think we cannot see the entire thing. We cannot see the entire thing. Yeah, we cannot see the entire thing. The only thing that's blocking out is the bottom.
Where we work our way through the chakras. And we do a couple of breaths in each chakra. So I'll walk you through it. Okay. So we start with the first chakra is at the base of the spine, and the color is red. So
Wow. Looking at this entire video in full screen on this monitor is beautiful.
imagine the red color at the base of your spine, and take a few breaths into the base of your spine and light up the red color. You also like the red grows with each breath.
This is so beautiful. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to make this happen. There's this tearing coming in my eyes because I'm like, I think I can do this, and I want to do this.
And the second chakra is orange. It's just below belly button. So breathe into that one. The next one is yellow. It's the solar plexus below the ribcage. Breathe into that one. See the yellow expanding. Next one is green, and it's the heart. Imagine the heart green color expanding. And then you move up to the throat, which is blue. Imagine breathing into the blue. And then third eye is purple. Imagine breathing into your third eye and seeing purple expand. And then the seventh chakra is the crown of the head. And it's either white or golden light. I like to think of it just as light, the color of light. So it could be golden light, it could be white light, but light. And breathe in and expand the light around the crown chakra. And rest in the line of the colors of the chakra. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then light.
Beautiful. I love Rick Rubin. I love Rick Rubin.
The blue. So right here. We're on Sydney. And we're in Tuscany. My first time in Italy.
Tuscany, Italy.
We're here for summer solstice. The different, rhythms of the universe. Can you speak on it? What that means to you? What's the importance of that? The summer solstice is the longest day of the year. The longest, it's like the longest. It happens to be.
Rick Rubin is known for inspiring reflections on creativity, art, and processes. All that matters is that you are making something you love to the best of your ability here and now. In terms of priority, inspiration comes first. You come next. The audience comes last. In terms of priority, inspiration comes first. You come next. The audience comes last. In terms of priority, inspiration comes first. And it's very interesting. Like, it's very interesting when people talk. I heard this one guy. Who was kind of like criticizing Rick Rubin that, oh, you come first, think about you first, and blah blah blah. I think you don't understand the concept over there. It's very important for you to first. Yeah, I don't even know how to justify it, but it just makes so much sense what Rick Rubin is talking about. He's saying that, hey, make something you want. Start by making something you want, because hey, if you are a human and you really resonate with something, and you are true to it, it truly resonates with you. If you are doing it, so two things are gonna happen: either other people will also resonate with you because they like that thing, because they like that specific thing that you resonate with, or number two, your passion, that emotion of really engaging with something is so what's the right word, that passionate feeling, the passion. People feel passion. Like, you, when you are really passionate about something and you talk about it with a lot of passion, people can feel that that's true passion. They like you. So I don't know if this makes sense, but basically what he's saying here makes so much sense to me. But then I heard this one guy who was criticizing it, and I'm like, yeah, you don't get it. In terms of priority, inspiration comes first, you come next, the audience comes last. The audience comes last is very interesting. Yeah, and I think he was talking in reference of movies, maybe. I forgot what was it, but yeah, in terms of priority, inspiration comes first, you come next, the audience comes last. Artists choosing to do something skillfully, caring about the details, bringing all of yourself to make the finest work you can. Artists choosing to do something skillfully, caring about the details, bringing all of yourself to make the finest work you can. If you have an idea you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. If you have an idea you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. Put on your blinders and focus on creating something you love. Put on your blinders and focus on creating something you love. I never decide if an idea is good or bad until I try it. So much of what gets in the way of things being good is thinking that we know. Okay, I love this. Put on your blinders and focus on creating something you love. Hey, that's the new tagline now. That's gonna be the new tagline. Put on your blinders and focus on creating something you love. That's by Rick Rubin. I never decide if an idea is good. Actually, let's mask the screen quickly, and I will add this over here too. Put on your blinders and focus on creating something you love. This is very interesting because why do I have mask screen again? And okay, got it. Yeah, what are we talking about? I never decide if an idea is good or bad until I try. So much of what gets in the way of things being good is thinking that we know. When someone is critical of making of something you make, when someone is critical of something you make, usually it's more about them than it is about you. The best way to serve the audience is to ignore them on, I'm not making it for them, I'm making it for me. And it turns out that when you make something truly for yourself, you are doing the best thing you possibly can for the audience. Art is nourishment. The real work of the artist is a way of being in the world. Zoom in and obsess, zoom out and observe. We get to choose. Zoom in and obsess, zoom out and observe. We get to choose. The imagination has no limits, the physical world does. The work exists in both. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. The imagination has no limits, the physical world does. The work exists in both. You can control people's interpretation, and why would you want to? Why would you want to? Why would you want to? It's kind of crazy how Rick Rubin talks about chakras and stuff like that, and the song that he's working with Jay-Z on, which is a very interesting 99 Problems. It's a very interesting song. It's a very interesting song. Like, just the first line is so interesting. Uh, and it's kind of crazy that, yeah, Rick Rubin is working on this. Rick Rubin is asking Jay-Z that, hey, no, don't do that, do this. Because this is going to make it hit. Make it personal. It's always yours. Make it personal. It's always yours. These quotes reflect Rubin's emphasis on authenticity, personal connection, mastery of craft, and the importance of creative process for external validation. Most are cited from Rubin's influential book, The Creative Act of Way of Being, as well as interviews and public statements.
Before this year, which just headline entity, and there's a history of some solstice celebrations for millennia. And we thought if we were going to have a party, great time to do it would be at a time when it's happened over thousands of years in an ancient place like this. Festival of the Sun. Festival of the Sun.
Amazing. You know, funny story about where these water bottles go?
I don't know.
The first time that I ever came over to your house was the first time I ever had to navigate one of those things. You told me how to open it. And last week I was trying to open it, and I was like, oh, Rick, come on.
They're often used for olive bottles and this stuff.
So we're just kind of, I guess, gonna have a free flow conversation. We're here with Montreal, who is, as you heard earlier, an independent indie company based out of Montreal, and I did an interview with them in 2017, and it's kind of it came like a rite of passage within the music world, like internet culture and underground music. And the special thing about Montreal is the direction of the questions. You know, you're asking people who've never opened up about, you know, love and heartbreak or, you know, spirituality, who find themselves having this this outpour. So I think it's a really cool platform for that. And you know, they reached out and said that they want to do it.
I don't know if. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, we already watched like 7 minutes of this podcast. Okay, interesting. But he made Rick Rubin smile. That is beautiful. Montreal, I love Montreal. We go to Montreal quite often. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I'm listening to this beautiful, like you are listening to this beautiful bird chirps in the background. I'm not sure if that is bird chirps, real bird chirping, or was that added in post-production. But it does look it feels very nice. I'm guessing it's added in post.
Really cool if we document one of these, because, you know, we've had some people conversations over the years, and it just felt right. So maybe one perfect place to do it. We're talking about, you know, summer solstice and the different rhythms of the universe and such.
These angles, these camera shots are so beautiful. I think there is a little bit of this effect is beautiful. This effect that is happening over is beautiful.
What to you, and this doesn't have to be, you know, universe related or nature related, but when you hear the word the source, what's the source mean to you?
The source is the organizing principle of everything that we experience. So
I'm gonna check if I can replicate the same effect over here. Can I? No. Luts. 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 Okay.
Why does the grass grow? Why are the trees here? Why are we here? Why is everything here? And going back to the origination of everything, I call the source like a universal wisdom, let's say. A generative force might be better way to say it.
Wow. These angles are so good.
Speaking of wisdom, I think as we go through our lives, we become more wise, but we also are in a constant battle trying to channel our inner child. How do you think we remain in touch with it?
Where's the mic? I think they're using the, I forgot what's it called.
That through getting older, going through things, and, you know, developing wisdom through life.
I think any practice that keeps you connected, keeps you grounded, and rooted to what's happening, and paying attention to the beauty of the world around you is really good. Instead of being inside, going outside, going for a walk, and paying attention to the majesty of nature seems to be a really good thing to remind us of our place in the world. Different than, you know, looking game experience, just a different experience.
I think the interesting thing about nature is that it can be so powerful, and we can utilize it through our art, through our love, through anything and everything. Listening to it and seeing it is a very specific just approach to your art, and I think that there's a way to do it, but it can't really be communicated. Can you speak on maybe a moment where you felt nature inspire something you created? Maybe it could be a creative act, maybe it could be an album, maybe it could be a particular song in a conversation where nature really inspired you.
Yeah, I think it happens all the time. Like as you were talking, I heard the bird chirping. There's another sound of like I think it's birds making this like.
Okay, bird chirping is real. This is not just added in post. Good.
Like I don't know what you call it. Like what do you call that sound?
I don't know, it's something beautiful.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful sound. And then a bee flew past me. I heard the buzz of the bee, and it places me here. So I'm not in my head. I'm here, and it's like everything's a reminder to be alive, pay attention. It's now. It's not. I'm not in the future. I'm not in the past. I'm here with you now, and it feels good. You know, happens where a bird flies into the room while you're working on something, and the lyric changes because of it. When these things happen, or you're planning on doing something one way, and then a weather condition or somebody not making it to the studio changes the plan, and something new happens and unexpected, and something cool comes out of that.
That's Rick Rubin's iPhone lying over there. And that's very interesting. There's something we also talked about earlier, that it's really cool that the world's the world's richest people and you have the same phone, have the same device. It's all about ideas now. It's all about ideas. Like you have the same tools. We all got the same tools now. We are just competing on ideas.
It's funny you say that because I think I want to say it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I was going through a rough patch in life, and whenever I'm going through something, I'll call my mom, and sometimes she'll be like, "You should talk to her. You should go see her." And I was going through something, and my mom was like, "You should see Rick. You should see Rick." And I was going to reach out to you, but I didn't happen to that day. And a friend of mine asked if I wanted to go surfing. I'd never been surfing before, and I was like, "I'll do it. Anything to get my mind off of just the chaos, right?" And went to the beach, parked in Malibu, and we're walking onto the beach towards the ocean.
I want to see the comments. How many people are saying, "Man, life is so much easier when your listens are on with the right people." Cold running to into Rick was a synchronicity. The collab I didn't know I needed. The collab I didn't know I needed. I wasn't expecting this collab. Rick is a fucking legend. He revived Johnny Cash's career, created rap rock, and produced my favorite of all time metal band's best album. What a human. The share I love you was a perfect way to end such a great convo. Got my heart all full. Beautiful. This was one of the most beautiful moments of reflection I've ever watched. 21 that skipped the meditation almost did as well, but I went back and went through the whole thing, and it was very, very peaceful, and now it's something I do to rebalance myself. It really could be what you are looking for to help clear your anxiety, doubts, and all the noise that leaks from the outside world. All the best to Cole and Rick's one of the biggest inspirations. Man, I didn't want this to stop. Montreality, Rick Rubin and Cole Bennett is crazy. Insane. I bought his book. All the magicians needed this one. Such a full circle moment. Truly surreal to see how far we have come, this beautiful beyond words. Having faith that life levels out because of God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, was a great step for me. It was a quiet man, an artist, a craftsman. Let's see what happens next. And got hit with an ad. Love this conversation though.
And I'm looking at this hand, as I look up, I see you walking by, and there was nobody on there. There was no one there that day. I took a left turn, I did not stop to get coffee on the way there. 15 seconds earlier, 15 seconds later, and we wouldn't have crossed paths.
I remember the day, and there was no one on the beach. There was no one else in the water but you guys.
Yeah. And we just had, exactly, we had the most beautiful conversation. And that, conversation, then going in the water, being completely disconnected from everything else. Yeah, you have nature and a good conversation and what it can do for you is really, it's powerful. And
Did you like the surfing experience?
I couldn't get up completely, but I went back a few times.
Like, just being in the water.
Yeah, no, being
Sitting on the board.
completely disconnected from everything. Followed, but by having that conversation right before, it was incredible, a moment that I'll never forget. And there's just a few moments like that, and it's important to recognize the signs, I think, and recognize that anything and everything that's happening around us is happening for a reason. And sometimes, I get so overwhelmed with work or, wanting to be in control of everything. Sometimes I just have to let go. And as of late, I've just realized that, I think gratitude is the most important thing for me. Intention and inventory are very important. Having intention for your actions and what you're trying to create with art, love, whatever it may be, and then being able to take inventory of all the things in your life, good or bad, I think allows for a good inner dialogue with yourself. So I think moments like that help me learn, and being able to learn from you has been really special for me because as I go through things, knowing that there's someone I can look up to that has created a world of peace for himself, and letting that have a beautiful marriage with the art form is really special. And I think people like you allow others to just explore the world with spirituality and a journey and search for peace. So I thank you for that.
I find that with the artists that I talk to, often the thing that is the biggest block getting in their way is just their own self-talk. Either insecurity, I'm not good enough, or ego, everything I do is great, so I don't have to work on it. There are always different variations of it, but in the actual doing of the work and being neutral and just seeing what it is and enjoying it, and then being able to come back to it, it's like, do I still enjoy it? If I still enjoy it, you come back next day and still like it, it's a good sign. You put it away for a while, come back a month later, and you still like it, that's a great sign. And as soon as you feel good about playing for your friends, Many artists want to play your music for your friends, but they say, it's not ready for anybody else. If you're ready to play for your friends, it's probably ready for everybody. Right. If you like it enough to play for someone you know and like, it's worth putting out into the world. There's some artists that, make things and it never comes out. There's always like this looking for perfection that never really comes.
It recently just went through so many upgrades, and this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This video is amazing. How many views does this have? 183,000. Wow.
That's, I was having it. 2, 3.
There's a little bit of a glow effect going on over here. I don't know what do we say. Like in Canva, it's called neon, I believe. In Canva, it's called neon. Yeah, I think that effect is going on over here. Like everything, like if you look at this table and the color over here, there's a little bit of film effect.
Yeah. It's kind of nice.
Beautiful.
One thing I always wanted to ask you.
Wasn't expecting that from you.
Just one thing that's been on my mind.
Me? Not me.
Beautiful.
A little concert.
Yeah, there we are. That was nice. A nice little interlude. One thing I always wanted to ask you about is love and how love inspires you and how you think love can bring power to people.
Love is what we're always on the hunt for. And when I say that, it's an art. When we're making something, it's a search for love. Anything we make. And that feeling of falling in love with something happens when, if you fall in love in your life, it usually happens in an unexpected way. It's not like, today I'm going to fall in love, and you'll make it happen. It doesn't happen that way. It's you're surprised by love. And we experience that when we're making things all the time. Like we're toiling away on this thing we think we're making, and then all of a sudden love shows up in a different way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it turns into something different. It's rare that it's premeditated.
Yeah.
I don't know that it can be really and be love.
Right.
It could be something else. But with love, there's some aspect of taking you by surprise.
That's what I think the idea of love is. It kind of breaks all structure and things can morph and grow into something you never expected through love. It's like you kind of have to take your hands off the steering wheel when it hits you and just follow the steer. So, it's funny because, like you said, we can fall in love with art, we can fall in love with a person, we can fall in love with a song, a film, we can fall in love with so many different things. And I am currently falling in love, and I reached out to my mom and I was like,
The song with a
person,
human.
and
I'm currently falling in love with a song.
quite terrified, the idea of falling in love. And I called my mom and I said, like I feel like I'm not in control, I feel vulnerable, I feel all these things. And I was like, I don't really like it. And it's scary. And she told me, it's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received. She said, I want you to take some time today, 5-10 minutes, and research the word fear. Top to bottom, front to back, really understand, the base of the word fear. And she's like, I want you to take everything you learned in those 5-10 minutes and then completely discard it. And she said, just have fun. Life is short. The more we try to control things that we're not supposed to be in control of, we can only lose. So I've taken everything I've applied to any moment in life where I feel like love's in play. Whether it's a project I'm working on, a beautiful relationship with someone, I just let it be what it's supposed to be. And I think that's one of the most important things you can do in life, is knowing when to kind of just let go.
There's a book called A Course in Miracles, and the book is about there only being 2 things in the world, love and fear. And fear doesn't really exist. So all it really is love. Fear is like a false indicator in some way. If you feel it, it means you're not connecting to the love that's really there in place of that fear. Pretty interesting book, worth checking out.
I need to read it.
There's a workbook that has 365 lessons, and you do 1 lesson every morning, and then you repeat the lesson through the day. Very interesting.
Hearing you talk, every interview I watch, every conversation we have, I'm just blown away and taken back by the space in which your mind sits at. It seems to always be in a peaceful place. Stress. I want to talk about the idea of stress. One thing I was trying to live by, but it's not easy to, is the fact that stress is not a requirement, and trying to release myself from the idea of the fact that it even exists, much like fear. How do you handle stress when you're faced with it?
It's stress is suffering, and this whole Buddhist concept about suffering, which is there is suffering, but you don't have to suffer. There's pain, and it really is pain. But the suffering part of it is something you can have pain, but you don't have to suffer. You can accept. In acceptance, usually how do I say it?
Suffering is optional.
Usually the suffering comes from some feeling that something's supposed to be different than the way it is. And if you accept the way it is, then there's no suffering. And you can't change what is. You can change how you deal with what is. But what is what is. Maybe like in your relationship, if your partner has a bad habit, you don't have control over that. And that can bring you suffering. Or you can accept the fact that you have no control over that. And I've never experienced a night centipede. I'm sleeping one night, and I brush my head. I feel like itchy, and I brush my head, and I feel incredible pain, like a sting. And I wake my wife up, and she wakes up pretty quickly because I'm moving around, and I say, I think I was just stung by a centipede, and I have two choices. I can panic, what I've been programmed to do my whole life.
This is how you'd imagine Rick Rubin is. Like, it's like sometimes you look at people who are on these podcasts, who are on these interviews, and you are like, okay, they have a personality, they have a front right now. But looking at Rick Rubin seems like this is how he lives. So he's like, whatever he's saying, the way he's talking, he's pretty much that way all the time. So it's like, yeah, if his wife, like, whatever, like, breaks a plate, he's like, hey, suffering is optional. I can choose to be mad at you, but I'm not going to be mad at you.
Or I can just decide, okay, it's okay. And she said, maybe the second one's better. I said, okay, I'll do that. But I know it happened to me when I was 19 years old. Absolutely would panic. If I knew I was 25 years old, absolutely would panic. But now I'm at a point where I can step back enough to see I can choose. And nothing is different. It will happen. Same exact thing happened. And it already happened. It already got stung. So that the idea of panicking, or like, my house burned down with everything in it, I could, have a fit and cry and be upset, or I can accept the fact this is what happened. Nothing I'm going to do is going to change that situation. So it seems like there's a lot less pain involved if nothing's going to change. You know what I'm saying? If I can't change the situation to put a lot of energy into not changing it and making me feel bad, it seems like a bad situation. That doesn't seem like a good choice.
Yeah.
And I think just knowing we can choose, we can decide in the moment, and to, in some ways, to remove ourselves. Something I talk about in the book is when something bad happens, you can imagine like it's happening in a movie, and think, okay, how is our hero going to get out of this one? Because there's always another scene. The movie goes on after the tragedy. There's always more happens. And often, and I began just learning this from living a long time, over the course of my life, when something that seems terrible happens, almost every time, maybe every single time, what happens in the wake of it is better than what was there. Almost every time, maybe every time. I never really examined if it was every single time, but it feels like every time.
And nothing really is that serious ever.
It's cool. Let's see what happens next.
That's what I was speaking on taking inventory earlier. It's like we always find ourselves, maybe hyper-focusing on things that we don't need to. And when you stop, you take inventory of, it doesn't need to be specific to anything. Just some of the simple things in life. The fact that, you woke up today, or the fact that your mom had a nice day, or the fact that you just saw your nephew, or whatever it may be. It kind of helps you restructure your day, but we're not able to do that unless we pause. And I think that's something I find myself in this, day-to-day battle with. It's like pausing versus just like always trying to push through and just continue navigating through, whatever that day may bring.
Yeah, I think the breaks really help, like taking time away and clearing your head and coming back with a fresh mindset. Really allows much more forward motion than trying to power through. I know that. Always I used to work very long hours and come travel.
It'd be really cool to just watch this on full screen. Okay.
Just,
I know in live stream we cannot see the full screen, but hey, with full screen it is beautiful.
to me, that's more time to see it and make it better. And now to work to where it feels good and leave alone and then come back with fresh ears. And to know, to pay attention to myself enough to know, am I at my best to be able to best know what's happening in the work? I know if I've been listening to something for, let's say, 5 hours, after 5 hours, I don't know that I really good about it. So I'll step away. And knowing when, let's let it sit for a little while. Let's work on something else. I'm not saying you can't keep working. I'm saying avoid going past the point where you lose perspective. And happens so easy, very easily. You start getting lost in details that no one else even noticed, but you're missing where the piece is working because you're focused on this one moment.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think when you put yourself too far into a project and not your entire life, you can sometimes find yourself on the brink of insanity because you're so, it becomes part of you to the point that can be dangerous.
Absolutely. And you don't need to lose perspective. That's not what other people are going to do. You're making it for someone else to see. They're not going to have that experience. So you're the only one who has that obsessive experience with the thing. And it's not a reasonable judgment of it.
Yeah.
That's not great. So great. Tell me about how you first came in contact with hip hop music.
First came in contact with hip hop music from my older sister.
How old is she?
She's 7 years older than I am, and she showed me 50 Cent, the Rooftop time. She had a CD, but she wouldn't let me borrow the CD. So she's like, "Mom, I have to go get it for yourself." And I went back after Rooftop time and time. I would just listen to it. I would have like my little Walkman with the headphones on, and I would sleep to Rooftop time. And I would wake up listening to Rooftop time, just not waking me. And I don't know, something about rap music was always something compelling to me, especially being like outside Chicago and living in, growing up and having the Kanye's of the world, and then the Chief Keefs at the same time. You have a chance to rap and everything in between. And it was just, I'd say rap music was like my first love.
Yeah. And when did you first start meeting the artists?
As I got in high school, I started going to any shows that I could, and I'd bring my camera, and I would just record wherever. I would shoot interviews outside of, in alleyways with artists that are walking out of the show. I would shoot recaps of shows. I really was so in love with just everything going on there. I wanted to capture it from every perspective.
Did you film other things before hip hop?
And I fell in love with film and just like media through a multimedia class in high school. So we'd make like little skits and stuff. And I was like, how do I bring these two worlds together? So I had one of my friends make a song in a rock band, so I could actually make video. And that's how it started. And it was just, it was time to find a way to capture things with very minimal resources. And
Which is a very hip hop thing to do. It's like, yeah, all hip hop starts with this idea of like creating something from nothing.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to tell people, to utilize anything. I guess people came up the internet right now. Saying a lot of people.
Yes. Create something from nothing.
Repurpose existing content and finding
Simply.
Yeah, because
it's all simply, yeah.
same concept.
Yeah, and it goes back even before sampling when a band was your other band.
Oh wait, did I say the opposite thing? No. Create something from nothing. Yeah.
And then you start by like copying it again, and then you kind of find your sound. But it doesn't start. You don't start with your own sound usually. You usually start by kind of imitating things you like, and you learn that way. And think, well, if I do it this way instead of the way they did it, it's cool. And find your way.
Yeah.
But there's always like something before that we're building on. And it's one thing I love about the book is that we're always in collaboration with everything around us. Like we never solo artists. Like the birds are duetting with us right now. Can't we have choice? They're doing their thing.
I remember when you sent me the PDF like a few months before the book came out, and I remember I printed it all out, I find it. This outline shows me the first time I saw that copy of the book. Yeah. So I still have it printed out, and if I read it, and it's really good. I handed it off to a few friends to read, and it's just been all over the place. And the best thing about the creative act is the idea of closing your eyes, and I don't know if it's tight. In time for it's worked for me. I read it front to back, but I also love the concept of just pulling open the book and laying on any page, and it all resonates. It's connected, and it feels chapter to chapter. There's consistency in the rhythm throughout. There's a proper skeleton structure throughout, but it also can be picked up wherever. And that feels like,
it was definitely intentional. I love a book, this is Stephen Mitchell translation of the Tao Te Ching, and it's a book of 81 little thoughts. And it's a book that you could randomly pick up and open anywhere, and I thought it'd be really nice if it had that same quality.
I need to put my creative act over here. All right, you got the book right here. You got the book right here.
Where it worked front to back, but also worked if you just need a piece of information, see what you get. Every day there's something that would be helpful. It's always good to have any, like, I'll call them references, anything that you can move forward to look at when you're working on music. Like,
there is this chapter on momentum which I really like. Crafting contains a paradox. To create our best work, we are patient and avoid rushing the process, while at the same time we work quickly without delay. By remaining too long in this phase, many pitfalls may arise. One is disconnection. If an artist is creating a beautiful work and keeps endlessly crafting it beyond the need, sometimes they suddenly want to start all over. This can be because they have changed or the times have changed. Art is a reflection of the artist's inner and outer world during the period of creation. Extending the period complicates the artist's ability to capture a state of being. The result can be a loss of connection and enthusiasm for the work over time. Demoitis happens when the craft has clung too tightly for too long to their first draft. Okay. Oh. I hit my monitor. Sorry.
like Frank always uses a mood board. They inspire lyrics. They are mood boards, and it can just inspire the feeling. You know, if you have a mood board and you work on something like something that the mood board doesn't, because maybe it's not part of this project. It can be an organizing principle. So having things around you like that you can pick up and play with, an instrument you don't know how to play, you know, just to kind of make some sounds up, might spark something in your mind.
I love the podcast around. I love the whole Tetragram universe thing. Because you love it all.
Yeah, the website's a new project that it's an art project that feels different than a lot of things online, and I'm excited to play with it. It starts when you go on it, you get a piece of art of the day. So we're normally faced with scrolls of things, there's a lot of information, and you get to the website, and it's just one image, and it's a big painting from the past, could be a great piece of sculpture, a great piece of furniture, and you just see the image like you see more. And the museum is there, and you tap on that, and then you learn about that painter and that painting, and it's like a little art class. And then there's a biodynamic calendar after that, which is it tells you the phase of the moon and what energy happens on the planet because of the phase of the moon. Like it's a good time to pick flowers, or it's a bad time to plant anything because the energy. It's just interesting. And the reason I wanted to do that biodynamic calendar is I thought if I knew those energies every day, if I could meet those energies every day and just pay attention to how I was feeling, maybe at some point I'd be able to just feel what that is. Like to know today's a bad day, plant something. It's not a productive day. So that's another part of it. There's articles and there's a radio station of all old African music. You can't hear anywhere else. You can't hear anywhere else. And nothing there in the radio. There's TV stations of just cool old weird things, lectures or movies or what's interesting about it is nothing's on the net. Today in the online world, everything's on the net. If I want to see this video and I want to see, I search for it, I find it, I can watch it. In this experience, you're just exposed to things. You have no choice. And it changes your relationship to it because you know it's fleeting. It's like, if it's interesting to you, you treat it differently. And just an interesting experience, very different than any other internet experience. I love that. Well, cool. I love you.
I love you too, man. Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too, man. Thank you.
That was incredible.
That was very lovely. I enjoyed that.
Directed, produced, edited by Montreality. Beautiful. 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 All right. That's the stream. Hey,